Good evening and welcome to the Pearl Report. I'm Diana Lin. Alexander the Great, Julius Caesar, Van Gogh, Charles Dickens, Sir Isaac Newton. What do these people have in common? All of them had epilepsy. More than 50 million people in the world have epilepsy, 30,000 in Hong Kong. That's about 1 in 200 people. It's one of the most common neurological conditions after migraines. Yet, unlike migraines, there's still a very real stigma surrounding the illness. Its name in Chinese is 癫癇症. Dien means crazy. No wonder people think it's a mental illness. Producer Denise Tom spent some time with a few people living with epilepsy to learn more about what the illness is, what it isn't, and how they're trying to stamp out the stigma.
At least 50% of the people with epilepsy have unknown cause. I have epilepsy with unknown cause. The doctors can't tell me why I have epilepsy, but epilepsy does
This is a training session for Outdoor Adventure Camp Outward Bound. 26-year-old Ada Wong works with Enlighten, an epilepsy awareness organization. Ada starts out with her own story. She was 20 years old the first time she fainted in the car with her dad.
He was like, Ada, what's wrong? Ada, what's wrong? He's scared. He took me to the hospital, and 2 days later, the doctor said I have epilepsy. A reality that I cannot accept. But today, I'm here to tell you about what epilepsy is. So I'm going to go back here.
She does that by largely telling them what epilepsy isn't.
Epilepsy means you're crazy. Epilepsy does not mean you're crazy. Well, I understand why, because Chinese word 癫癇症. 癫 means crazy or insane. But epilepsy does not mean you're crazy.
For Ada, educating people about epilepsy is something of a personal mission.
Because if I am having a seizure, then people don't know what to do, and they start putting fingers or whatever in my mouth. It's either life-threatening to me or to the other persons.
Ada's been with this organization for less than 1 year. Her previous job as a fundraiser for a local university was not very accommodating of her illness.
My employer would always remind me, saying that they were doing me a favor because they would still hire me because I have epilepsy. I guess for here, every time I go out, I'm doing this for myself instead of doing this for the money or for the organization. I would go out, I stand up and say, I have epilepsy, and thank you for coming, because for coming, you guys helped me.
It's very real for people when she talks to them, because she's very genuine, and it is very real. It's her own personal experience, and she's been there. She knows exactly what it's like.
Stephanie shares an office with Ada at work. Quite often, she's the first one to be alerted to Ada's seizures.
I would put the yoga mat on the floor, and then put her on the floor, and then use the cushions to surround her to protect her head. And after a few seconds, then she started having a seizure, like her legs were like kicking something, her arms would try to grab something, which is unusual. But she told me at that time she's still conscious, but she just cannot talk to me.
So what is epilepsy and what causes it? Normally, the brain cells release neurotransmitting chemicals between neurons to send and receive messages. For someone with epilepsy, the brain's normal electrical activity is disrupted. The signals get scrambled, and excessive firing of neurotransmissions results in seizures.
It can range from just a mild blank-looking spell for seconds to what most people will associate with an epileptic fit, losing consciousness, grinding the teeth, thrashing around.
For example, when your body wants to move your arm, the brain sends a signal to the arm, it moves, and all's normal. But an epileptic person's brain sometimes sends multiples of the same message. So instead of the arm moving just once, it jerks uncontrollably. There are some things that can trigger seizures, including stress, tiredness, lack of sleep, hormonal changes like during menstruation for women, but perhaps one of the more common ones, flashing lights.
So what is epilepsy? When you have seizures in your brain because your cell is not working properly.
Meanwhile, Ada hasn't been resting too much. Right after the training session with Outward Bound, she went back to the office before heading onwards to West Island School for more work.
This is the raising awareness part. Some people just thought, I know about this. There was just one girl right here and said, I know about this already. It's about kids who can't read. And that's when we go, oh, no, no, no. That's when the opportunity comes and we can talk to them and say, oh, epilepsy is this or that.
Ada pushes herself to the limit sometimes for her work, not because her boss requires it.
I was just very tired right after the training.